The Bids and Awards Committee, back meeting for today, October 26, 2023, is now called to order. May we request our Head Back Secretariat, Engineer Arnel Portales, to please read the rules of attendance and the agenda of pre-bid conference.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Our attendance for today's meeting for the pre-bid conference of contract ID 24EF 0047 to 24EF 0048 and 24EF 0050 to 24EF 0058 and 24EF 0068. October 26, 2023. Our attendance, Sir Eugenio Arcaton, Back Chairman.
Present.
Sir Ronald Supanga, Back Vice Chairman.
Present.
Ma'am Maria Picayo, Back Member.
Present.
Ma'am Merly Ayayo, Back Member.
Present.
Sir Julius Lacacha, Back Member.
Present, sir.
Back Secretariat, Arnel Portales, Raquel Ross, Abilar Tupas, and Jerry Larawan. Okay. Our agenda of pre-bid conference for contract ID for 24EF 0047, construction of Ransang River Flood Control Structure, Rizal, Palawan. 24EF 0048, installation, application of signage, pavement markings, street lights, and improve sight distance, clear obstructions, modify geometry to improve visibility for turning vehicles, etc. along Puerto Princesa South Road, K0090 plus 700 to K0091 plus 300 in Narra, Palawan. And 24EF 0050, Rehabilitation, Reconstruction, Upgrading of damaged paved roads, secondary roads, Puerto Princesa South Road, K0217 plus 700 to K0218 plus 181 in Bataraza, Palawan. And 24EF 0051, Widening of Permanent Bridges, Bulalacao Bridge, B00126 PW, along Puerto Princesa South Road in Bataraza, Palawan. And 24EF 0052, Widening of Permanent Bridges, Manalap Bridge, B00061 PW, along Puerto Princesa South Road, Sofronio, Española, Palawan. And 24EF 0053, construction of multipurpose building at Barangay Kanipaan in Rizal, Palawan. And 24EF 0054, construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Pangobilian in Brooks Point, Palawan. And 24EF 0055, construction completion of multipurpose building, Barangay Kanipaan and Rizal, Palawan. And 24EF 0056, construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Barong-Barong in Brooks Point, Palawan. And 24EF 0057, construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Mainit in Brooks Point, Palawan. And 24EF 0058, construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Samariñana in Brooks Point, Palawan. And 24EF 0068, construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Bangkalaan in Balabac, Palawan. Number 1 agenda, brief presentation, explanation by back of the following. Letter A, basic contract data including contract description, ABC, and duration. Letter B, requirements of bidding documents, including instruction to bidders, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, specifications, drawings, bill of quantities, and forms. And letter C, documents to be submitted by the bidders. Under that letter C, we have technical component envelope, and under that we have Class A documents. And under Class A documents, we have letter A, legal documents, letter B, technical documents, letter C, financial documents, and letter D, Class B documents. For under C, we have number 2, financial component envelope. Under that, we have financial bid form. Letter A, bid prices in the BOQ. B, detailed estimate. Letter C, cash flow by quarter. And under that number 1, we have letter D, criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award. And number 2, we have questions, comments from bidders and replies of bank and other representatives of procuring entity. Number 3, things including supplemental bid bulletins to be issued. And number 4, other matters. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Sir Portales. May we request our Vice Chairman, Engineer Ronald Supana, to please discuss the basic contract data.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon po sa lahat. We'll be discussing the basic contract data for these 12 projects scheduled for bidding on November 10, 2023. For the first contract ID, number 24EF0047. The contract name is Construction of Ransang River Flood Control Structure at Rizal, Palawan. This contract is construction of 200 mm thick reinforced concrete revetment with steel sheet piles and segmental wall every 20 meters. The ABC for this contract is 49 million. This is funded under FY 2024 net with the contract duration of 172 calendar days. The cost of bidding documents is 25,000 and the pickup license requirement is medium A. For the next contract, 24EF0048, the contract name is Installation, Application of Signage, Pavement Markings, Street Lights, and Improved Sight Distance Clear Obstructions, Modified Geometry to improve visibility for turning vehicles, etc. along Puerto, Princesa, South Road. The station is at K0090 plus 700 to K0091 plus 300. This contract is located at Narra, Palawan. The brief description for this contract, it is installation of road signages, pavement markings, 10 meters height solar street lights, and relocation of existing 6-meter height solar street light. The ABC for this contract is 9,692,200. This contract is also funded under FY 2024 net. The contract duration is 60 calendar days. The cost of bidding documents is 10,000 and the pickup license requirement is small b. The next contract is contract ID 24EF0050. The contract name, Rehabilitation, Reconstruction, Upgrading of Damaged Paved Road, Secondary Roads, Puerto, Princesa, South Road, K0217 plus 700 to K0218 plus 181. This contract is located at Bataraza, Palawan. It is a reconstruction of 6.7 meters width, 280 millimeters thick Portland cement concrete pavement including raising of grade, sidewalk, curb and gutter, line canal, RCBC, and other miscellaneous structure. The approved budget for the contract is 32,354,700 pesos. Also funded under FY 2024 NEP with the contract duration of 190 calendar days. The cost of BDOCs is 25,000 and the pickup license for size range is medium A. Next contract is 24EF0051. The contract name, Widening of Permanent Bridges, Bulalacao Road, B00126 PW along Puerto, Princesa South Road. The contract location is at Bataraza, Palawan. The brief description of the project, it is a construction of two lanes bridge, 8.95 meters wide by 25.5 meters long. RCDG placed at both sides of existing bridge, complete with PCCP road approaches, road and bridge slope protection, and other miscellaneous structures. The ABC for this contract is 63,979,500. The source of fund is FY 2024 NEP. The contract duration is 311 calendar days. The cost of bidding documents is 50,000 and the pickup license requirement is medium A. The next contract is 24EF0052, Widening of Permanent Bridges, Manalap Bridge, B00061 PW along Puerto, Princesa South Road. This contract is located at Sofronio, Española, Palawan. The brief description is construction of 2 units, 2 lanes, 9.68 wide by 24.5 meters long, 3-span RCDG bridge placed at both sides of existing bridges, complete with PCCP, road approaches, road and bridge slope protection, guardrails, and solar street light. The ABC for this contract is 61,374,000. The source of fund is under FY 2024 NEP with a contract duration of 304 calendar days. The cost of bidding documents is 50,000 and the pickup license for size range is medium A. The next contract is 24EF0053. The contract name is Construction of Multipurpose Building at Barangay Kanipaan. The contract location is at Jose P. Rizal, Palawan. The brief description, it is a construction of 10 meters by 20 meters, 2-story building with 3 by 5 meters in transports, multipurpose hall, 2 offices, records office, stock room, toilets, 2 quarters, 3 chambers, septic vault, furnitures, CCTV, CCTV system, concrete parking space at front, and 2 solar post light. The ABC for this contract is 9,900,000, also funded under FY 2024 NEP. The contract duration is 150 calendar days. The cost of bidding documents is 10,000 and the pickup license requirement is small b. The next contract is 24EF0054, construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Pangubilian at Brooks Point, Palawan. The brief description: it is a construction of 10 meters by 20 meters, 2-story building with 3 by 5 meters entrance porch, multipurpose hall, 2 offices, records office, stock room, toilets, 2 quarters, 3 chamber septic vault, furnitures, CCTV system, concrete parking space at front, and 2 solar post light. The ABC for this contract is 9,900,000, funded under FY 2024 NEP. The contract duration is 150 calendar days. The cost of bidding documents is 10,000, and the pickup license requirement is small b. Next contract is 24EF0055. Contract name: construction, completion of multipurpose building, Barangay Talipaan. The contract location is at Jose P. Rizal, Palawan. Brief description for this project: construction of 7 meters by 7.5 meters, 1-story multipurpose building with toilet, kitchenette, and 3-chambered septic vault. The ABC for this contract is 1,980,000. The source of fund, FY 2024 NEP. The contract duration is 90 calendar days. The cost of bidding documents is 5,000. The pickup license requirement is small b. Next, contract ID 24EF0056, construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Barong-Barong. This contract is located at Brooks Point, Palawan. It is a construction of 10 meters by 20 meters, 2-story building with 3 by 5 meters entrance porch, with multipurpose hall, 2 offices, records room, stock room, toilets, 2 quarters, 3-chambered septic vault, furniture, CCTV system, concrete parking space at the front, and 2 solar post light. The ABC for this contract is 9,900,000. Also to be funded under FY 2024 NEP, with contract duration of 150 calendar days. The cost of bidding documents is 10,000 pesos, and the pickup license requirement is small b. Next contract ID is 24EF0057. The contract name: construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Mainit. The contract location is at Brooks Point, Palawan. It is a construction of 10 meters by 20 meters, 2-story building with 3 by 5 entrance porch, with multipurpose hall, 2 offices, records room, stock room, toilets, 2 quarters, 3-chambered septic vault, furnitures, CCTV system, concrete parking space at the front, and 2 solar post light. The ABC is 9,900,000. The source of fund is FY 2024 NEP. The contract duration is 150 calendar days. The cost of bidding documents is 10,000. The pickup license requirement is small b. Next contract is 24EF0058. The contract name is construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Samariñana. The contract location is at Brooks Point, Palawan. Brief description: it is a construction of 10 meters by 20 meters, 2-story building with 3 by 5 entrance porch, with multipurpose hall, 2 offices, records room, stock room, toilets, 2 quarters, 3-chambered septic board, furnitures, CCTV system, concrete parking space at the front, and 2 solar post light. The ABC for this contract is 9,900,000. The source of fund is under FY 2024 net. The contract duration is 150 calendar days. The cost of bidding documents is 10,000, and the pickup license requirement is small b. For the last contract, contract ID 24EF0068, construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Bangkalaan. The contract location is at Balabac, Palawan. The brief description for this contract, it is a construction of 10 meters by 20 meters, 1-story building with 3 by 5 entrance ports, multipurpose hall, 2 offices, records office, stock room, toilet, 3-chambered septic board, furnitures, CCTV system, concrete parking space, fence, and solar post light. The ABC for this contract is 9,900,000. Also to be funded under FY 2024 net with a total calendar days of 150. The cost of bid docs is 10,000, and the pickup license requirement is small b. So that's all, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Supanga, for the information. May we request back member Madam Engineer Maria Peccayo to discuss the requirements of bidding documents.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, good afternoon to all. These are the requirements of bidding documents. Number 1 is the instruction to bidders. The bidders must submit their technical and financial components sealed envelope into one big envelope. All interested bidders may acquire a complete set of bidding documents at Procurement Unit Office, Back Building, DPWH, Palawan 2nd DEO, Narra, Palawan, upon payment of applicable fee for bidding documents pursuant to the latest guidelines issued by the GPPB in the amount stated by Back Vice Chairman Engineer Ronald Supanga on the basic contract data, or it may be also downloaded free of charge from DPWH's website www.dpwh.gov.ph and from Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System or PhilGEP's website www.philgeps.gov.ph, provided that the bidder shall pay the applicable fee for the bidding documents not later than bid submission. For bid submission may be done manually or electronically online. However, bidders should only select one mode of submission, either manual or electronic. Similar to manual submission, the guidelines for preparation and submission of electronic bid are obtained in the bidding documents. Bid must be received by the Back Secretariat through DPWH 2nd floor, back room, Narra, Palawan, for manual submission, or at electronic bids, Palawan 2 at dpwh.gov.ph for electronic submission. All bids must be accompanied by bid security in any of the acceptable forms and in the amount stated in ITB Clause 16. For bid submission, the contractor's representative shall submit a copy of contractor's registration certificate or CRC or special power of attorney or SPA together with government-issued ID. Bid opening shall be on November 10, 2023, 10 a.m. at DPWH 2nd floor, back room, Narra, Palawan. Bids shall be opened in the presence of the bidder's representatives who choose to attend the activity. Late bids shall not be accepted. For the general conditions of the contract, the purpose is to provide standard terms and provisions of the contract applicable in all contracts in general, without detailed information and data specific to the contract at hand. The GCC shall define the contractual requirements and obligations of both the procuring entity and the contractor at hand. For the obligation of the procuring entity, this office will provide you with the plans, inspections, and tests. For the contractor's obligation, number 1 is to carry out works per contract in accordance with the plans and specification within contract duration. Number 2, the contractor shall employ a trade personnel indicating their designation in accordance with ITB Clause 10.3 and specified in the PDS to carry out the supervision of works. The procuring entity shall approve any proposed replacement of trade personnel only if the relevant specific qualifications and abilities are equal to or better than those of the personnel listed in the schedule. Number 3 is the posting of your performance security. This shall guarantee the contractor's performance of its contract obligations up to the certificate of acceptance after the defects liability period and upon submission of the required warranty security, if acceptable. The performance security shall also guarantee the recoupment of any advance payment. It must be posted in favor of the procuring entity and shall be forfeited in the latter's favor if it is established that the winning bidder is in default in any of its obligations under the contract. The GCC shall remain unchanged. Kaya meron tayong special conditions of the contract or the SCC. The purpose of this is to provide contract-specific information in relation to the corresponding clauses in the general conditions of the contract. The SEC shall specify contractual requirements linked to the special circumstances of the procuring entity and works procured. Some contents of the SEC are the intended completion, start date, required description of work, type of structures and warranty period, amount and schedule of advance payment. Contractors' key personnel equipment requirements are stated in the bid data sheets. For the specifications shall reflect necessary minimum requirements. It should promote the broadest possible competition while assuring structural integrity and performance of the infrastructure. For DPWH contracts, DPWH standards for public works and highways or the Blue Book, it shall be the basis of standards to be met by the materials and works to be performed. Meron tayong Volume 2 for highways and bridges and Volume 3 for buildings, flood control, and drainage. Yung standard pay items in the PCNA issues. Modifications in DPWH standard specifications shall be the special provisions of the contract at hand. For the drawings, ito yung ating plano. It varies with the type and nature of contract and of works involved. It represents in accordance with accepted national and international standards and practices for infrastructure contracts based on detailed engineering, which form part of design outputs. It consists of layouts, plans, profiles, elevations, sections, site location, and perspective in a sufficient detail and scale complemented by specifications to enable the bidder or the contractor to gain clear, accurate presentation of required works. It is also a reference or guide in the implementation of project. For the bill of quantities or the BOQ, the purpose is to provide sufficient information on the quantities of works to be performed under contract at hand, to enable the bidder to prepare bids efficiently and accurately. Yung BOQ po natin ay may 6 columns. Columns 1 to 4 is to be filled up by the procuring entity, and columns 5 to 6 to be filled up by the bidder. The bidder shall not change entries under pay item, which is in column 1, description in column 2, unit in column 3, and quantity in column 4, which are set by the procuring entity for each item in the BOQ. The bidder indicates its unit bid price in words and in figures in column 5 and its total bid price in column 6. Kailangan po magpatugma yung ating words and in figures. The TWG will check your submitted BOQ and posted the offer. Any discrepancy in your submitted BOQ is modification of bidding documents and it is patently insufficient. Gagawin po mag-update ng posting sa PhilJeps, baka po meron tayong bid bulletin. For the forms, lahat ng ating forms ay standard and updated at lahat ng ating requirements na ito for bidding documents ay nakapost sa PhilJeps and DPWH's website na pwede nyo po i-download for free. That's all, Mr. Chairman, for the requirements of bidding documents.
Thank you, Madam Engineer Carol, for the information. May we request Madam Maria Ayayo to please discuss further the documents to be submitted by you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon.
So here are the documents to be submitted by the participating bidders for these 12 projects, 24 EF 0047, 24 EF 0048, and 24 EF 0050 to 24 0068. So for technical component envelope, there are two classification of documents to be submitted, and that is the Class A documents and, if applicable, Class B documents. Under Class A documents, meron po tayong tatlong types of documents: legal documents, technical documents, and the financial documents. So, under legal documents, ito po ang dapat na isubmit. Number 1, valid PhilJeps registration certificate, platinum membership complete in 3 pages. Number 2, registration certificate from Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, Department of Trade and Industry, DTI, for sole proprietorship, or Cooperative Development Authority, CDA, for cooperatives or its equivalent document. Number 3, mayor's or business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for executive economic zones or areas. And number 4, tax clearance per executive order number 398 series of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. For technical documents, number 1, statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Number 2, statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules. Number 3, Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board or PCAB license, or special PCAB license in case of joint ventures, and registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid. Number 4, original copy of bid security. If in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration. Number 5, project requirements, which shall include the following. Letter A, organizational chart for the contract to be bid. Letter B, list of contractors' key personnel, such as project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, and foremen, to be assigned to the contract to be bid, with their complete qualification and experience data. Letter C, list of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreement supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor vendor for the duration of the project as the case may be. And also list of materials testing equipment apparatus or certification issued by the technical working group. As proof po na inyong equipment or apparatus ay complete and already inspected by the technical working group. And number 6, original duly signed omnibus term statement, and if applicable, original notarized secretary's certificate in case of a corporation, partnership or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture, giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the omnibus term statement and do acts to represent the bidder. Under financial documents, ito po ang dapat isubmit. Number 1, the prospective bidders' audited financial statements showing, among others, the prospective bidders' total and current assets and liabilities stamped received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. And number 2, the prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity, NFCC. For Class B documents, ito po ay if applicable only. Duly signed joint venture agreement in accordance with Republic Act number 4566 and its implementing rules and regulation in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the joint venture agreement in the instance that the bid is successful. Para po sa ating financial component envelope, ito naman po ang dapat ninyong isubmit. Number 1, original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. Number 2, original of duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantity. Number 3, duly accomplished detailed estimates form, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rental used in coming up with a bid. And number 4, cash flow by quarter. So, paalala lang po sa lahat ng mga interested bidders that all documents to be submitted ay dapat po complete and in clear copies, readable, paginated, and duly signed by the bidder. So, that's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Ayayo, for the clear information and well-defined explanation. May we request back member Engineer Julius Catacha to discuss the criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
These are the criteria and procedures for examination and evaluation of bids. First is the eligibility check. Second is the preliminary examination of bids, the detailed evaluation of bids, and the post-qualification and the award. First is the eligibility check. This is a simultaneous processing of electronic eligibility and manual checking of submitted legal, technical, and financial documents. First is the manual checking of eligibility. This is a non-discretionary pass or fail or presence and absence of required documents. Any missing or expired documents means ineligible. The Bids and Award Committee will check manually the submitted legal and financial documents such as PhilJEP's Certificate of Registration, SEC DTI or CGA registration, Mayor's and Business Permit, Tax Clearance Certificate, per Executive Order Number 398, Series of 2005. The financial documents such as audited financial statement and computation of financial contracting capacity or the NFCC. The PhilJEP's registration should be valid and platinum membership, complete in 3 pages, and all documents must be updated. Missing or expired documents means failed or ineligible and manual eligibility. Next is the electronic checking of eligibility. The authorized administrator will process the electronic eligibility of the bidders using the system provided for CWA or the Civil Works application. This is a database of contractors' legal, financial, and technical information, and all bona fide contractors who wish to do business with the department are encouraged to enroll to the registry. The bank will receive a copy of the electronic eligibility showing results of pass or fail and the legal, financial, and technical aspects. Failed results to any aspect means ineligible in electronic eligibility. The second criteria is the preliminary examination of bids. This is the opening of first and the second envelope. For the first envelope, which is the technical documents, the bank shall open the first envelope to determine the bidder's compliance for eligibility, technical and financial documents required as prescribed in IRR 9184 against the checklist to ascertain that they are present using the non-discretionary criterion as stated in the instruction to bidders. If a bidder submitted the required documents, it shall be rated passed for that particular requirement. Bids that fail to include any requirement or are incomplete or patently insufficient shall be rated as failed. Any missing document means failed or automatically disqualified. Reminder po ulit sa ating mga bidders that the statement of the prospective bidder of all ongoing government and private contracts, including awarded contract but not yet started, should be declared and filled out in the prescribed format. Certification of compliance of laboratory equipments issued by the head of technical working group must be present. In case of new contractors, the proof of ownership or purchase must be attached. The laboratory equipments must be company-owned and neither rented or leased. The omnibus term statement must be complete in 10 statements. Failure to comply with these requirements should also result to the outright disqualification of your bid proposal. Next is the second envelope, which is the financial documents. Same as with the first envelope, non-discretionary pass or fail criteria or presence and absence of documents. Any missing documents means fail. If present means passed. After determining compliance in the first envelope and rated passed, the bank shall open the second envelope. For bidders whose first envelopes were rated failed, their second envelope will not be opened. It will be returned to the bidder or any authorized representative unopened. In case any of the requirements in second envelope is missing, incomplete or patently insufficient, and or if the submitted total bid price exceeds ABC, shall be rated failed. The ABC shall be the upper limit or ceiling for the prices. Only bids that contain all bid requirements of both components shall be rated passed. The above item is in opening and preliminary stage. The third criteria is the detailed evaluation of bids of the technical working group. This is the detailed evaluation of the bid that was opened, read, and rated pass. The purpose is to determine the lowest calculated bid. This is to establish the correct calculated prices of bids, ranking calculated total bid from lowest to highest. The completeness of bid will be checked. All blanks in bid form must be properly filled up. The back, TWG will check all required items in bidding documents. That includes the following. First is the unit price or cost of item. Doon po sa ating POQ ng column 5 and 6. Placing no price is considered as non-responsive, while specifying zero or dash means it is offered for free and it is responsive. Second is the arithmetical corrections in case of discrepancies between the bid price and the bid prices in words. The bid prices in words will prevail. Total price per item versus the unit price per item quantity. Unit price per item quantity will prevail. Stated total price versus the total sum of prices of component items. The total sum of prices will prevail. Unit cost in the detailed estimate versus unit cost in the BOQ. Unit cost in the BOQ will prevail. The fourth criteria is the post-qualification of the technical working group. To determine whether the bidder with lowest calculated bid complies with and is responsive to all requirements and conditions of eligibility, and the bidding of the contract to be declared the lowest calculated responsive bid. First is the verification and validation of the bidder's stated competence and experience, including single largest completed contract of the SLCC, similar to the contract being procured. Verification of competence and experience of the bidder's key personnel to be assigned to the contract as against the minimum requirements under the bid data sheet. If proposed key personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the same time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that the personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded the contract. He or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualifications as certified by the head of the implementing office pursuant to Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012. The proposed key personnel and replacement must be named in the bidding document. Verification of availability and commitment and/or inspection and testing for the required capacities and operating conditions of major equipment units to be owned, leased, under purchased by the bidder for use in the contract under bidding. The technical working group will conduct verification to all government and private offices to validate the performance of the bidder of each all ongoing and awarded projects with the lowest calculated bid. If any of these contracts shows a reported negative slippage of at least 15% in a single contract, a reported negative slippage of at least 10% in 2 or more contracts, failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 days and to complete them within 30 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and deficiencies. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificate of acceptance within 30 days and to complete the works within 90 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and failures. Substandard quality of works as per contract and specification. Unsatisfactory performance of the contractor's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. The liquidated damages currently imposed on the contract. The results of the contractor's performance evaluation system, or the CPS, should also be considered by the concerned bank in determining the responsiveness of the contractor's bid before any award of the contract can take place, as stated in item 12.5 Annex A of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184. If the bank determines that the bidder with the lowest calculated bid or higher rated bid passes all the criteria for post-qualification, it shall be declared the said bid as the lowest calculated responsive bid. The last criteria is the award. The bank shall then recommend to the head of the procuring entity the awarding of contract to the bidder with the lowest calculated and responsive bid. The home shall approve or disapprove the recommendations of the bank within a period not exceeding 7 calendar days from the termination and declaration of the bank of the LCRB. Failure of bidding is recommended only if no bids are received, all prospective bidders are declared ineligible, all bids fail to comply with all the bid requirement or fail post-qualification, or the bidder with the lowest calculated responsive bid refuses without justifiable cause. That's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Kakacha. Well spoken, well done. Since we have no prospective bidders or representatives at the back room, we will now proceed on the next agenda. For the summary of proceedings, the bank chairman will convene the Bids and Awards Committee members to conduct the bid opening on the following activities. The first activity is the preliminary examination of the technical component, followed by the eligibility checking. This shall be done electronically using the DPW Civil Works application, CWA. Then the next activity is the preliminary examination of financial component. And finally, the announcement of the report by reading the abstract bids. Engineer Portales, do we have supplemental bid bulletins issued?
So far, wala pa kaming tatanggap ngayon eh. Hindi ko lang yung mga susunod na ano. So, siguro sila, tumingin na lang sila sa website para kung sakaling meron, makuha nila. Ilang siguro dyan.
Noted. This ends our pre-bid conference. The back meeting is now adjourned.